Hey team, this is True Love with another manga chapter review for One Piece chapter 938. Now, this is another great chapter with some fantastic character development, a new budding relationship between two characters, and we see some repercussions from the last couple chapters. If you haven't already read chapter 938, this is my review. I will be spoiling it in its entirety. Quickly looking at the cover page, we've got my favorite ex-Shichibukai, Sir Crocodile. I was quite young. I think I was an early teenager, 11, 13, when Alabasta was aired in Australia. It's the arc that really got me into One Piece, and I really can't wait for more Crocodile in the One Piece story in general. So entering into the chapter, Kamozo, he is confirmed out of action. He's got the white eyes that we spoke about. He is absolutely done. He's actually holding a scythe again, which he wasn't in the last chapter. We see a great shot with snow falling down with Zoro, Gyukimaru, and the defeated Kamozo falling down on the ground. Komurasaki here is amazed with Zoro's strength. And we see Zoro, he's really out of breath. You can see him huffing and puffing, but he's still in rage mode. You know, he glares at Gyukimaru. Zoro acknowledges that he's been injured before the final battle, which everyone was trying not to do. It's actually really annoying because in every arc he always gets nerfed by some wounds from the previous filler arc or at the start of the arc. He's always worried about them opening up. Gyukimaru has a wicked grin on his face and he can see how hurt Zoro is. He knows he's not in any danger and he just calmly reaches down, grabs one of Kamozo's scythes before turning around and leaving Zoro to pass out by himself in the snow. And we get to see Inuarashi again. So I'm a dog person, so I'm always keen to see Duke Dogstorm. We now know after the bathhouse scene that Kaido's crew actually know all about the Crescent Moon tattoo and also about the secret coded message. Bit of a bombshell. Despite them being so careful with the actual distribution of these messages and going the extra mile to code the message within them, Kaido's crew still found out. This panel's also really great because we get to see some of the mink in their samurai get-ups. I love the warthog, I think it's a hyena, it's got a tongue hanging out. The ram and the tiger all look really cool as samurai, they look really badass. So we fly over to the flower capital and all the allied samurai, the guys that are loyal to the Kuzuki clan, are all being captured one by one. They've got their face down on the ground, they've got blades to their heads. It's not looking good. When we were first, we haven't been introduced to them necessarily, but when we were first shown them in almost like a Brady Bunch panel showing all these different types of samurai we were waiting to see, they all looked really unique. It was obvious that Oda had really spent some time designing these characters. You know, maybe they were backups for the designs of guys like Kinemon, Kenjuro, and the samurai we've met already. It really sucks to see them taken out by pleasures and waiters. Obviously they're not really in a position to resist the waiters and pleasures because obviously then someone like Jack is going to come and attack them, so I guess it does make sense. It still sucks to see them beaten up by pleasures and waiters. Drake and Hawkins have some back and forth and mention the news of the people with the Crescent Moon tattoos being snapped up. It's spreading too quickly, so they know what the Crescent tattoo means, but they don't want everyone else to know that they know, so they can try and spread their net as far and as fast as they can and catch everyone up. We're also slowly being drip-fed some of Drake's personality. He's not so cool, calm, and collected as he initially came across as. In this panel, he's yelling at Hawkins. He's telling him he's the reason that Targus escaped from the bathhouse. So he's obviously quite emotional and quite quick to snap and blame someone else, which I like. I love the characters in One Piece having their little weaknesses, little character quirk weaknesses. So Kiyoshiro and the Yakuza, they're hanging out in the pleasure district like usual. There's talk of Komurasaki's funeral being cancelled because if there were that many people in the same area that were so distraught that something bad might go down. We all know there's probably another reason, that there's no body, or we don't know who's organising the funeral, we don't know whose decision it was to have it cancelled, so you can't say too much about it so far. But one thing to notice in this panel is that all the locals from Wano are crying and they're hysterical. They've got tissues and tears bursting out their eyes, whereas Kiyoshiro is very relaxed. He's sitting there smoking his pipe. He's chilling out. Also, take note that Kiyoshiro says, I'm the one suffering most from her death anyway. This is a hint that he does actually care for Komurasaki. Maybe romantically, or maybe he knows a secret about Komurasaki, maybe her origin, which he's willing to protect. What this is also setting up is Kiyoshiro having an interest in Komurasaki. Remember in the first panel how impressed Komurasaki looked with Zoro's strength? Keep that in mind. So throughout our One Piece journey, we have seen many powerful people, whether it's pirates, marines, devil fruit users, and haki masters, get bonked on the head and get little lumps pile up. We have never seen anyone turn into a bunch of grapes, like Sanji looks like right now after Nami has had a go at him for perving on all the women in the bathhouse. We've also got Shinobu and Law having an argument about what to do next in regards to Beppo and Law's crew, which have been captured by Kaido's crew. Shinobu is accusing Beppo of leaking the plans to Kaido's crew, and Law is having absolutely none of it. He doesn't believe it for a second. He trusts his crew wholeheartedly. So obviously Shinobu here is very emotionally attached to Wano, to the current situation, the situation with Kaido and the Shogun. She was around when Oden died, and she's remained faithful from his death to the present day. She's bawling, crying, she's barely able to hold it together, and she's telling Law that his crew should be disposed of, should be killed, just in case they leak any more information. We remember that Law actually said early with Usopp, Sanji, and Frankie that if anyone should get captured, they should kill themselves. And that would be to protect the greater good of their plan and the meta story of the arc, the meta goal of the arc. When Shinobu brings up literally the exact same thing about killing your own friends who have been captured, or killing yourself if you're captured, Law is absolutely furious. We see a panel with his face and he is not happy. So enter Tonoyasu. The reaction faces in Wano had been absolutely fantastic, from the infamous Robin face when Luffy was captured, to Queen when he was hearing about Luffy escaping, Kit escaping, and the keys going missing. This has continued here with Tonoyasu being reprimanded by Nami for barging in on their team and pulling a face in surrender, going, "Whoa, you're a goddess or what?" Quickly calms her. We all know how Nami is. It's a pretty funny gag. The last panel on this page shows Tonoyasu asking if it's finally time for the final battle. It makes you think that he's been waiting for it. He's holding up the coded message. He's still smiling. We know about the town that he's from, how they're always smiling, always laughing, even in the face of horrendous events. And I'm not sure if I'm just making this up, but his eyes or his face, it kind of looks intense. I'm honestly not sure if I'm just projecting what I'm thinking onto this panel, but he looks, there's something more intense about him here. I'm wondering if he is going to come out as being actually some quite powerful samurai. Snow is falling in Ringo still, and Zoro's waking up from his faint after his battle with Kamazo. Straight away, he kicks his blanket off and he's yelling for his swords. I love it. This is why we love Zoro. I've noticed as well that his leg is missing the scars that he gave himself on Little Garden, so a little mistake there. Komurasaki is caring for him. She's making him up some medicine for his wound. She's obviously very thankful, as when she was pleading for Zoro for help, when her and Toga were running from Kamazo, it's the first time I've seen her swallow her pride and actually ask for help. She's determined and prideful of being the daughter of a samurai to the 10th degree. She didn't even bow or flinch to Orochi when he threatened her with her life and when he tried to attack Toko. And so her actually screaming out, "Hey, samurai, please help us," we can really tell that she was in trouble, that she was in a life-threatening situation. And so now that Zoro has helped her, you can see the way that she's looking after him. In the next page, we see that she's feeding him and giving him booze, that she is actually really thankful, and she has a debt that she's beginning to repay to Zoro. I love Toko's character. I had a feeling she was going to be Kozuki Hiyori, actually, because I thought that the Komurasaki lead up was a little bit too obvious. I don't have any proof of it being Toko. I just thought that Komurasaki was being obviously led that it was going to be her, and I just thought of the other female characters we've been introduced to in Wano, and I thought that, yeah, Toko was going to be Lady Hiyori. Komurasaki is trying to thank Zoro for putting his body in danger to save them, but Zoro brushes it off straight away and says it was due to his naivety. He says it's got nothing to do with you. So he's talking about his immaturity in combat. He's beating himself up because he didn't have a flawless victory. All he thinks about is his goal of being the strongest swordsman in the world. He's not thinking about women. He's not thinking about anything except defeating people and improving himself and improving his skills. He's not even close to being happy to the level of his skills at the moment. I love how he's always aiming for the top. So Zoro jumps up, he's got to go find Shisui, he's got to go find Yukimaru before he gets too far away. And Komurasaki, she clings to his arm, she buries her face in his arm and warns him not to go out with the wounds that he's just sustained. Zoro actually calls her an idiot for grabbing his bad arm. He's not interested in Komurasaki, the most beautiful woman in Wano. All he's interested in is one of his swords. I love Zoro. There's a little joke here with Toko talking about the toad oil that she stole in the capital. It's got to be from Usopp. We know he was selling it there. It would be great if Zoro's wounds were healed by Komurasaki and the medicine she was making, but the credit goes to the toad oil and to, Usopp and Toko instead. I think that would be really funny. On the next page, Zoro's chilled out as he's just learned that Yukimaru isn't necessarily a wandering person, but he always waits by that bridge and waits for guys traveling over it so that he can steal their weapons. Zoro knows he doesn't have to rush. He knows where this guy's going to be. Now all he has to do is go back there and defeat him in battle. In this panel, Zoro is drawn with his face buried in a bowl of noodles or something, and then he's shown upending a gourd of must be sake or booze. This is showing he protected Komurasaki. He said, "I'll protect you if you give me some food and give me some booze." This is her fulfilling her side of their agreement and trying to repay him for what he's done for herself and Toko. This is Oda showing us that Komurasaki is good for her word of feeding Zoro, as she promised. I love how Toko keeps piping up. Zoro's talking about Orochi. They're kind of, starting that little conversation about serious storylines. And Toko's there saying, "Hey, I'm Toko, you can call me Otoko, but I'm not a boy." The joke. So clearly every time she meets someone, she makes the same joke and pisses herself laughing. So we finally get the reveal we've all been waiting for, and yes, Komurasaki is Hiyori. She also says that Zoro acts like he's from Wano. So there's a theory floating around that Zoro is actually originally from Wano. That's why he says things like snatch. He tried to teach that to Momonosuke. And Okiku, I think it was Okiku, called him up and said, "Hey, where'd you learn that?" This raises questions like about how Zoro knows these things, or maybe if the person who Zoro's original master maybe taught him. So that's the end of the chapter. We've learned a little bit in this chapter. It's not as much as the info drop as last week, but there's one thing in particular I noticed, which is Kiyoshiro's made it clear that he cares for Komurasaki. He said that her death would be affecting him the most. In this chapter, we've seen little repercussions / cues of Zoro saving her and Toko. She's clinging to him, she's impressed by him, she's looking after him. And while this is happening, Zoro's essentially ignoring her. This could be her falling for him. So what if Kiyoshiro is in love with Komurasaki, Komurasaki falls in love with Zoro, Zoro is in love with challenging strong swordsmen like Kiyoshiro? This could be a great little mini storyline going forward, a love triangle between Komurasaki / Hiyori, Zoro and Kiyoshiro. If you've watched this far, please leave a like below and subscribe if you've been enjoying my content. I'm TrueLove, and I will be bringing out another video next week. See you later, bye.